Have you ever wondered why you feel this deep, almost personal connection to certain brands, while thousands of others just fade away? It's a great question, right? Dear book lovers, welcome to another high-speed book summary episode of Summarypedia. We are here to bring you more titles in less time. In this episode, we are going to explore the important and highly practical lessons from the book Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon. We're going to unpack the secret code that turns customers into a loyal community. You know, for countless companies and executives, this isn't just some casual curiosity. Oh no, it is the billion-dollar question. They pour millions, sometimes billions, into marketing, into product development, into advertising, and a lot of the time the results are, well, they're just not there. And here's the brutal, stone-cold fact that keeps them up at night. Market data shows that a staggering 9 out of 10 new products simply don't make it. And that tells you something really, really important. Having a great product, a killer price, or a massive distribution network, it's just not enough anymore. Something else, something deeper has to be going on. So this is the question that echoes through every boardroom. Executives look at these absolute titans, Nike, Apple, Coke, and they just wonder, what is the secret sauce? What are they doing that we are not? They see these brands that have become part of our culture, and they're desperate to figure out how they can do it too. And here we get to the very heart of the challenge. The book calls it the parity problem. Let's be honest, in today's market, most products and services are functionally pretty much the same. And when everything looks the same, performs the same, feels the same, those old school marketing tricks like the unique selling proposition, they just lose all their power. Rational arguments don't create passion. So, if product features aren't the answer, then what is? Well, the solution requires a pretty radical shift in how we think. It's about moving beyond what you sell and getting laser-focused on what you believe. It's about building something that is so much bigger than just a product. And that brings us to the central idea of this whole thing, primal branding. It's not about logos or clever taglines. It's about systematically, piece by piece, building an actual belief system. It's about creating a community of people who feel like they belong together because they all share a common set of values. So the whole game changes. You're no longer just trying to get somebody to make a one-time purchase. Your goal becomes way more profound. You want to become so meaningful to people that they literally weave your brand into their identity, into the very fabric of their culture. You're tapping into one of the most fundamental human needs we all have, the need to belong. Now, I know this might sound a little abstract, a little out there, but here's the great part. Primal Branding gives us a concrete, actionable framework. It's a 7-part code that literally anyone, from a tiny startup to a global mega corporation, can use to build their own belief system. So here they are, the 7 essential components of the Primal Code. We're going to walk through each one. The creation story, the creed, icons, rituals, pagans, sacred words, and finally, the leader. Let's start breaking them down one by one. Okay, first up is the creation story. Every powerful belief system, every single one, has an origin. We are just naturally curious about where things come from. And this story, it isn't just marketing fluff. It's the absolute foundation of trust between you and your community. And you see this with all the greats, right? Google starting with 2 college kids in a dorm room, the FedEx founder whose professor basically laughed at his idea, UPS kicking off with just $100. These stories of struggle and vision make these huge corporations feel human, relatable. Next up, number 2 is the creed. This is your brand's core belief, distilled down to one single, bold, powerful statement of purpose. It's what you stand for. It's your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. It's the flag that your community rallies around. And is there any better example of a creed than this one? Apple's legendary Think Different. It's not about computers, is it? It's a statement about identity, about creativity, about challenging the status quo. It is an entire belief system packed into 2 simple words. The third element is icons. Now, I want you to think of these as powerful sensory shortcuts that trigger your brand's meaning almost instantly. And this goes way beyond a simple logo. Icons connect with us on a much deeper, more visceral level. And what's amazing is how diverse they can be. An icon can be the unmistakable shape of a Coke bottle. It can be the iconic yellow border of a National Geographic magazine. It could be a sound, like a siren, or even a distinct smell, like the one that hits you when you walk into an Aveda salon. They're designed to tap into all of our senses. All right, next on our list, rituals. These are the specific, repeated actions that people in your community engage in. And what's so powerful about rituals is they turn passive consumption into active participation. They reinforce that feeling of a shared experience. For example, there's a very prescribed way to pour a pint of Guinness. That's a ritual. That complimentary scalp massage you get before a haircut at Aveda, total ritual. Heck, even the familiar, reliable arrival of the UPS driver becomes a small daily ritual for millions of people. Okay, now for a really fascinating and maybe a little counterintuitive piece of the code. Pagans. The idea here is that a community is often defined not just by what it believes in, but also by what it doesn't believe in. By defining your non-believers, you actually make your own group's identity clearer and stronger. And you can see this play out perfectly with a few examples. The identity of an Apple user is just sharpened by its contrast with a PC user, right? A Yankees fan's identity is practically inseparable from their opposition to the Red Sox. By defining who you aren't, you make the bond among those who are with you that much stronger. Number 6 is sacred words. Every strong community, every tribe, develops its own unique vocabulary, its own special lingo. And using this language, it signals that you're an insider, that you get it. It's like a verbal handshake that reinforces that sense of belonging. And the final piece of this code is the leader. This is the visionary figure, whether they're real or symbolic, who embodies the creation story and champions the creed. Think of Steve Jobs at Apple or Howard Schultz at Starbucks. They become the living, breathing embodiment of the brand's entire belief system. So we've got these 7 distinct elements on the table. But what happens when you bring them all together? Well, that's where the real magic happens. That's where a brand makes the leap from being just another product on a shelf to something so much more powerful. When all 7 of these pieces are working together, in concert, something truly incredible happens. Your brand is no longer just a choice people make at the store. It becomes a belief system. It becomes a community. It becomes a genuine and essential part of the culture that people actually use to define themselves and find meaning in their lives. And this powerful quote from the book really just encapsulates the entire philosophy perfectly. Don't just build a church, create a religion. It's not about building a place for people to gather. It's about creating this system of belief that makes them want to gather in the first place. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more high-speed book summaries from Summarypedia.